What's your favorite short joke that works on demand? Two nuns are sitting on a park bench. A man in a trench coat runs up and flashes them. The first nun has a stroke. The second nun tried, but she couldn't reach. A man goes to the circus. After the show, he speaks to the manager and asks for a job. "All right, what can you do?" the manager asks. "I can do great bird impressions," the man replies. PSSH, a lot of people can do that. "Oh well," the man says and flies away. A man goes to the circus manager and asks for a job. The manager asks, "What can you do?" "Well," says the guy, "it's easier if I show you." He starts flapping his arms and runs, then he takes off and flies around and around inside the big top, looping around the poles, perching on the high wire, and eventually he swoops back to the manager and lands softly in front of him. The manager looks at him for a minute, strokes his chin and says, "That's all you do, bird impersonations." Maybe too long, I'm not sure. Also works best with overblown Irish accents and appropriate nun-sounding names. Two nuns are driving down the road when Dracula jumps out. "Quickly," says the first, "showing your cross." The other winds down the window, leans out and yells, "Get out of the road, you goofy." Mr. Smith is going to a neurologist. The doctor says, "Well, Mr. Smith, you really have to stop." Mr. Smith asks, "Why?" The doctor, "Because I can't do my exam like this." Hope it's translated properly and wasn't here yet. It's definitely dark humor, however it's never failed me. What's better than winning gold at the Paralympics? Legs. I always heard it as, what's better than winning the silver medal at the Paralympics? Having legs. BC people usually will say winning gold, of course, and you catch them off guard. Two fish in a tank. One says to the other, "You man the guns, I'll drive." Based on my experience with booze and machinery, I imagine a fair amount of property damage, but not as much as you'd think. Tanks are kind of a pain in the drive, so the guy would probably crash into something, get frustrated, try to back up, then say this, puke and pass out. And when you're drunk, this is when the panic starts to step in. Your feet begin to flail around like those wooden dummies you see in movies about knights. Your hands reach for every control that they can get a grip on. Suddenly you realize nothing in your life makes sense anymore, and only at this point do you finally ask yourself, what am I doing in a goddamn tank? A week after Mozart died, his ghost was discovered trying to erase his music. When asked why, it said, "I'm decomposing." Two muffins are in an oven. The first muffin says, "Hey man, it's getting pretty hot in here." The other muffin says, "It's a talking muffin." I was at a summer camp and two guys who had just met each other 6 minutes beforehand pulled this off perfectly. Zach said the first part and then looked at Spence when he said the other muffin says, and Spence finished it perfectly with a talking muffin. There are 3 moles in a tunnel. The first one says, "I smell sugar." The second one says, "I smell cinnamon." The third one says, "I smell molasses." A man goes to the doctor for the second time and asks, "Doc, what was it?" "Leo Aquarius." To which the doctor interrupts, "Cancer, you have cancer." A mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." The mushroom says, "Come on, I'm a fun guy." How do you find Will Smith after a blizzard? Just look for the Fresh Prince, or in private with people that are not easily offended. I like my women like I like my whiskey, aged 12 years and all mixed up with Coke. Simple, easy. Always at least gets an eye roll and a smile. Hold up your hand with all your fingers straight out, then start opening and closing your hand rapidly. Looks like you're groping the air. Say, "What's this?" Now hold up just your pointer finger and make the same motion with only the one finger. A flock of these. A man with an orange for a head walks into a bar. The bartender doesn't want to be a part of a joke, so he's not looking for any funny business. He asks the man, "All right, wise guy, why do you have an orange for a head?" The man says, "Well, I found a magic lamp the other day and got 3 wishes. The first wish I had was that every time I opened up my wallet, there was a new $100 bill waiting for me there." The bartender replies, "That wish sounds pretty awesome." The man continues, "The second wish I had was that every time I found someone attractive, they thought I was attractive too." The bartender couldn't find anything wrong with that and continued to ask what the man's third wish was. The man goes, "Well, for my last wish, I wished for my head to be an orange." How do you fit an elephant in a refrigerator? Open the door and put it inside. How do you fit a giraffe in a refrigerator? Open the door, take the elephant out, and put the giraffe inside. A lion is holding a meeting in the jungle and all the animals have to go. When the meeting starts, one animal isn't there. Which one? The giraffe. He's in the refrigerator. You come across a crocodile-infested river in the jungle and have absolutely no way to cross it. There's no vines or bridges nearby. How do you cross it? You swim. The crocodiles are at the meeting. A journalist walks into a bar and sees a Russian, a Polish man, and an Israeli. He walks up to the Polish man and says, "Excuse me, what's your opinion on the potato famine?" The Polish man replies, "What's a potato?" So then the man walks up to the Russian and says, "Excuse me, what's your opinion on the potato famine?" The Russian man replies, "What's an opinion?" So finally the man walks up to the Israeli and says, "Excuse me, what's your opinion on the potato famine?" The Israeli replies, "What's excuse me?" Anytime someone states anything about smell, reply with, "Oh sorry, it works best when the smell is cookies or perfume, or something that generally smells nice." Another one is a ridiculous sound, like a foghorn or police siren. If you can get away with a "well excuse me" in a Tobias way, it works best. If someone ever claims something really weird of you, or anything really, replying with "what? It's the only way I can get an erection" works really well. Cedars, you're always listening to weird music. Cedars, I bet you watch some freaky crap on the internet. Also, after a long, obviously not a stranger phone call, if someone asks, "Who was that?" reply with "wrong number," and continue on as normal. In general, it's the really short, confident, totally opposite of what's expected replies that I find get the best laughs, but only if you can take the probable weird looks. Either a series of knock-knock jokes or musician jokes. Some examples of the latter. How did trumpeters introduce themselves? "Hi, I'm better than you. Why did the viola player stand at his front door so long? She couldn't find the key and didn't know when to come in." How do you get a guitarist to leave your front porch? Pay him for the pizza. What's the difference between an orchestra and a bull? A bull has the horns in front and the hole in the back. What's the definition of a drummer? An athlete that hangs out with musicians. Why did Sally fall off the swing? Because she had no arms. Why couldn't she get back on? Because she had no legs. What did she get for Christmas? Cancer. Knock knock. Who's there? Not Sally. Two muffins are baking in an oven when one turns to the other and asks, "It getting hot in here to you?" To which the other replies, "Ah, a talking muffin." A pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel attached to his pants. Bartender looks up and says, "Hey, you know you have a steering wheel attached to your crotch." The pirate replies, "It's driven me nuts." What's ET short for? He's got little legs. What's the fastest cake in the world? Scone, which only works if you pronounce scorn so it sounds like gone. I pronounce it like cone. It took me 20 years to get that joke, only ever having seen it written down. A blind man walks into a store, picks up his seeing eye dog by the tail and starts spinning it around above his head. The confused store clerk says, "Sir, can I help you?" To which the blind man replies, "No thanks, I'm just looking around." A guy takes his bird to the vet. The vet says, "I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that your bird has chirpies." The guy says, "What's the good news?" The vet says, "It's tweetable."